action filed in federal court in Manhattan details a scenario of involvement by Saudi officials who are said to have aided some of the hijackers before the attacks. 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi nationals, and 3 of them had previously worked for the kingdom. The document details how officials from Saudi embassies supported hijackers Salam al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Hari 18 months before 9/11. The officials allegedly helped them find apartments, learn English, and obtain credit cards and cash. The documents state that the officials helped them learn how to blend into the American landscape. The suit also produces evidence that officials in the Saudi embassy in Germany supported lead hijacker Mohammed Atta. It claims that a Saudi official was in the same hotel in Virginia with several hijackers the night before the attacks. Now, many of these revelations in the lawsuit are culled from the findings of an FBI investigation into the terrorist attacks. The lawsuit asserts that the Saudi royals, who had for years been trying to curry favor with fundamentalists to avoid losing power, were aware of the funds from Saudi charities that were being funneled into Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama had resisted efforts to hold Saudi Arabia accountable. So last September, Congress overrode an Obama veto and passed Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act that would allow Americans to take legal action against countries that support terrorism, which is why this lawsuit is happening now.
This is back to WikiLeaks from 2010. In a WikiLeaks cable dump back from 2010, it was clearly revealed that the Saudis were a major financier of jihadist terrorist entities all over the world. This is nothing new. I mean, you have to really avoid this. Middle Eastern money is awash in the West and in other places. I don't know if you remember, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas once tricked Ed Begley Jr. and Mariel Hemingway into accepting made-up Middle Eastern money to help fund a film that was anti-fracking, against fracking. They didn't know that they were being secretly filmed or anything, and both Begley and Hemingway agreed to hide the reality that their film was going to be funded by Middle Eastern interests. And James O'Keefe also found, and recorded Hollywood producers explaining various methods to hide this kind of funding, referring to these non-profit groups that would help keep Middle Eastern funding under wraps. And this ties in, I think, to Keystone XL, right? Just this pipeline. You have to use oil in a modern economy until we come up with something better, and you can either get your oil domestically or you can get it from the Middle East. And if you get oil from the Middle East, you're handing money to a bunch of theocratic authoritarian governments that, at least in the case of the Saudis, have been shown to be funding some very questionable groups around the world. And this goes back to many of the disasters that came out of the Second World War, because it was the British and American interests to a large degree that discovered and developed oil in the Middle East and ran the companies there. And then after the West was weakened by the Second World War, the Middle Eastern governments took over and nationalized, so to speak, the oil. And then a bunch of environmental groups popped up and began paralyzing the capacity for the West to use its own oil resources. And some of these groups, it's certainly theoretically possible, and there have been some indications that some Middle Eastern money is funding certain aspects of environmentalism, which makes sense, right? They don't want the West to develop its own oil resources so that they can continue to take Western money in return for shipping oil overseas. But given that oil is going to be used, you want it to be produced locally rather than produced in a distant way, because pipes are safer than seagoing vessels when it comes to shipping oil. And so, yeah, there is an anti-fracking movement. There have been some sources from Middle East oil money. So, there's a lot to say that's positive about environmentalism, but in certain areas they're just useful idiots for theocratic jerks to make sure that the West doesn't develop any kind of self-sufficiency in oil, so that we can continue to pour money into these regimes, who then use it for sometimes pretty nefarious purposes. So I'm a big fan of local oil production, because the alternative is pretty horrendous.
Well, we can't go through the segment without, of course, speculating as to the $25 million that Hillary Clinton got from Saudi Arabia. If there was no ties and no problems, why would you stand in the way? The only way you'd stand in the way is if there were ties, and there would be.
It's a clear way to disprove a conspiracy theory if that were the case.
Yeah, so you just look at Hillary Clinton presidents have done, and you have to wonder. You have to wonder.
So that's our update for this week in the world from Free Domain Radio with Mike and Steph. We really, really appreciate everyone's positive feedback and your negative feedback. Please keep us posted about how to navigate this new segment of conversations about what's going on in the world. Please, 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 if you find this helpful, if you find this show useful, helpful, like, subscribe, share this information. You can, of course, do it on the YouTube channel, and, of course, you can do it through FDR Podcast. Share the show. Please, please, please go to freedomainradio.com/donate. Help us out with the donation. Monthly is the best, or you can do it one time. You don't need a PayPal account. You can just do it through a credit card, or you take Bitcoins or bank cards or whatever. Please, freedomainradio.com/donate. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @StefanoMooney. If you've got some shopping to do, you can use our affiliate link. It costs you nothing and throws a few pennies our way at fdrurl.com/Amazon. So thanks everyone so much for listening. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk to you soon.